Students, grab your quills, your parchment, your alchemical supplies, your spell components, your spell focuses, your familiars, your friends, your next year's robes, because we are going to year 5. It is going to happen. I can feel it in my brain. Welcome back, everybody. It's IOTH Academy. I'm Tormented by Gnomes. I'll be your game master. Joining me, we've got Crow and Leg Day, Lemon Kiwi, and Necra. Welcome back, all 4 of you. Necra, it's good to have you with us.
I heard I missed a lot.
Not on this show, nah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Arianna recovering from everything that happened underneath the alchemical lab. That feels like so long ago, especially to our viewers, I'm sure. So we'll see what happens this episode. But I'm happy to be back.
Year 5, huh? You'd like that, wouldn't you, DM? Signed for cast.
Oh, let me just go ahead and press that button there. All right, so
disadvantage.
When we last left our heroes, the Green Gala was finally over after like 7 episodes of Green Gala. We took forever building up to it. It was a very happening weird prom. We made it through, and our heroes were turning their attention back to academic pursuits. They were working on their end of year projects. There's a little bit of intrigue, some back and forth with the various factions that have taken hold amongst the student base. But let's go ahead and have our intrepid heroes bring Arianna up to speed. After the battle against the Redcaps, in which Krya sustained a brutal stomping on the face, you managed to repel them, and Arianna kind of doesn't remember much after that. So how would our heroes bring her up to speed?
I think we sent her to bed.
Oh, yeah.
We weighed up. Like, okay, so she looks okay now, thanks to some miraculous healing that no one quite knows how that happened, but good on us. Should we send it to a nurse? A nurse would probably ask questions. Arianna, there's a lovely bed right here. Maybe rest would be what's best.
Sleep it off, forehead.
Sleep it off. And then sleeping for like, a month. It's fine.
know.
What else did she miss?
What else did we do?
There's that thing that Athalor has, that one thing.
Oh yes,
the dagger
we used the dagger, and it is the one that Sventisco and Co were talking about down in the old lair. It can vaguely cut through spell matrices, or at least when it does cut into a spell matrix, the caster has to roll a saving throw of a kind I cannot remember.
Dang.
Constitution.
It's con, yeah. My
So, like,
memory.
breaking
Okay,
their
nerds.
concentration.
Some of us remember
Okay.
stats, some of us don't.
I'll forget something completely different. It's fine.
Love it. So I'm going to assume at this point, Arianna has not seen how the dagger actually works. Like she's
Mhm.
probably like sleeping, really focusing on school. She really needs to do that.
Mhm.
So yeah, that all checks out. No holes in this plot yet.
The codex are very busy helping each other with their projects as well. It's been a
Mhm.
almost collaborative effort on basically every single project thus far.
Nice.
Does Arianna have any unanswered questions she needs to follow up on before she gets her nose back in the books? Or does she feel
Don't
like it's time
I
to...
think so.
All right.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
All right. Let's go ahead and get to work on these school projects then. Make our way towards the end of your 4th year at IOTH Academy and the end of your time at the Great Hall as well.
Oh yeah, the ring. Oh
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
next
we
year
must
everything
take our roomies
changes.
at some point.
So the gossip is the ring, the lodges are each these separate environments, right? And unless you have some sort of a teacher slip to go grow drugs by the river or something like that, there's not usually a whole lot of travel back and forth between the lodges. There's communication, there's letters, you can make friends in other lodges. There's a school-sponsored pen pal system. You can send them packages back and forth, but the Green Gala is really the only event that kind of mingles all the different groups from the different lodges. The ring, next year, everything changes. And as you're going through your daily routine, you look out the high windows and all the classrooms in the Great Hall where those cool, refreshing breezes always blow through so that it never has this stuffy feeling of being inside an old stone structure. It's always light and fresh. And people are more and more looking towards the center of the golden sphere, towards that spire that rises up almost to the top of the sphere. And just over halfway up it, floats the ring. Gravity on the ring works differently. If you imagine Halo from Halo video games, you won't be too far off, except that the sides curve upwards. It's not just like a flat band. The sides curve upwards, and you walk along it. So when you're standing on the ring, up is towards the center of the sphere. And
So it's
the
like
entire...
a NASCAR track or something?
What was that?
It's like a NASCAR track or something, or like a velodrome that people ride bikes on.
It's magic.
Magic.
And the ring is covered with all sorts of different structures. It's almost like a mini sub-city, like its own university to a degree. It's got lots and lots of different chapter houses, and each chapter house has its own small classrooms and kitchen and garden. And students next year don't live in the lodges, they live in these chapter houses, which can accommodate anywhere between like 24 to 60 students, give or take, depending on how things go. And you will need to pick roommates, because in the ring, instead of sort of sharing like this quad with people, you're going to have individual roommates next year. And you'll need to decide what chapter house you want to live in. Cryus has been trying to get all the members of the Codex to request together to be in the same chapter house, and he wants to move into one that's going to have room to grow, because obviously next year all the students are going to be inside this huge complex. And the rest of the ring, aside from the chapter houses, there's parks, there's gardens, there's little lakes, there's libraries, all sorts of different structures
So cool.
along this floating circle. And you can walk from any point to any point, because gravity always works towards the edge of it. So the whole student body from years 5 through 7 will be combined in this one area, able to travel, able to visit, able to mingle, able to participate in intramural competitions. Life is going to change so much next year. And as the end of the 4th year gets closer, more and more people start talking about who you're going to room with. What's life in the ring going to be like? Are you going to get into any sort of competitions? It's now that the Green Gala is no longer the thing to look forward to, moving on to the ring is the topic of discussion.
Oh, we lost Lemon.
She's
She's gone to the ring already, boys.
I'm leaving.
She's gone to
See
go
ya.
games.
I must go. My planet needs me.
Got
So,
excited.
that's a lot of what's going on. Before we go back into your 4th year projects, Crowan, tell me what Alexander's headspace is right now. Is he talking with his peers at all about this? Is he thinking anything about the ring? Where's he at?
Yeah, so Alex would agree with Cry's suggestions of it's probably nice to have the Codex all go to the same kind of house in the ring. So to try and do a bit of research, scout out where would be a good fit for all of us. Maybe ask some, professors, some teachers, like, oh, where do they think that we could succeed and thrive in a place like that? And also, Alex wants to try to start a rumor about, like, not so much a rumor, but like, because he actually plans to do this, but essentially he wants to start getting it floating around there that he's going to host, or the Codex is going to host, a like dueling tournament once that we're in the ring, to kind of recruit the best of the best to the Codex.
Hell yeah.
Best of the
Oh, Be
best.
told.
Yeah, best of the best.
Oh,
All right.
show match between the kids, John.
Yeah. And so hopefully the goal being that it attracts other people, other non-Codex people, to like join whichever place we're going to in the ring for potential like recruits, to make like recruiting easier and stuff. But actually does want to do that like tournament.
Okay. And now, is this something that's supposed to happen next year once you get to the ring?
Yeah, once we get to the ring.
Cool,
So it's a
cool.
bit of ways off.
All right. So Alexander starts putting the word out, starts getting it out there. Leg day. What about Athalor? Is he totally focused on his school project? Is he talking with any of the 4 of you about what life is going to be like in the ring? Is there any fallout from the whole scoodly pooping incident going on?
I think it'd be roll for Scoodly Poop. Athalor doesn't wield a huge amount of social power compared to Garnet, where she kind of like is top bitch when it comes to spreading rumors.
I could help.
You're the one who spread the rumor.
Oh yeah, everyone hates you. Well, okay, hate is a strong word. Oh, we forgot to mention that to Arianna, that Athalor and Garnet publicly broke up. And there was like different takes on how we broke up.
Oh,
My side was that I dumped Athalor, or Garnet obviously dumped Athalor. Athalor spread his rumor that it was mutual. And
Athalor said they were never together.
but it didn't catch on because my roles were better. I don't know though.
There's also a narrative that Athalor dumped Garnet for Arianna as well. They weren't able to stamp that out entirely. So there's a lot of gossip going on right
Just a
now.
little side thing going on there that you should know.
People are
about.
looking and whispering as you walk by in the halls.
cool.
Can we get an update on how those rumors are going? Because I think that's gonna possibly be like, does Athalor think it's safe to ask about rubies right now?
All three of those are still in the wild. None of the roles were sort of all middling, so they're all about equal footing. Except that the most salacious rumor usually wins, right? So I think the two that are winning are Garnet dumped Athalor and Athalor prom cheated on Garnet with Arianna. Those are the two most prominent rumors. The nobody cares about the just friends. It was always platonic stuff. This is high school. This is high school. No one's gonna
True.
buy that.
That's low tier juice right there. That's some clamato juice right there. No one wants that.
Clamato.
I think Athalor would probably just address the four of them when we're in the room, just like, when we go over to the ring, it won't be the four of us anymore. I think everyone's going to be divided into rooms of two. Does anyone have thoughts?
I should point one thing out here. While the ring is co-ed, because the IOTH Academy does not
For the
abide by
break.
Makes sense the rooms would not be.
What's a co-ed?
they aren't
I don't know
separate.
this term.
They're not separated by gender.
Okay,
Because
cool.
IOTH Academy, well, here's the thing. IOTH Academy is not a heteronormative institution. They're well aware that just because you do or don't do gender separation doesn't mean jack to a bunch of high school kids. So, if they have reason to believe that your selected roommate is somebody with whom you may be interested in non-platonic activities,
Brutally pooping.
your request may be denied.
Any non-platonic activities in which
Hey, Darina, finger gun. Wanna platonically scootily poop?
yeah,
Oh,
just
no.
practice, bro. Just practice.
Just practice, bro. Ew. We're never getting to year
my
5.
god.
I'd like to apologize to chat. Not for all that entire exchange, but for the fact that we're never making it to year 5.
Yeah. Oh no. I forgot where we were.
Athalor had just
yeah,
asked
yeah.
the entire group if what they thought about roommates, and I felt the need to
That's right.
dispense some important context before this conversation continues.
Good point.
Well,
So
we
any
should
thoughts?
still stick together, right? Like, kind of nudge Arianna. I mean, if you don't have anyone, I'm down to room.
I would love to room with you. I was actually going to ask you if you wanted to room together.
Yeah,
Girls and boys. If
yeah. You guys can do your own thing.
don't have any other plans, Alexander.
I don't think I had any specific plans yet in terms of just roommates. So if you're interested, then sure.
I think this has worked out well so far.
Nice.
It's nice and easy, unlike the rest
Easy.
of our year.
Oh,
All right.
come to a decision on something so quickly.
That was fast. I think there were some members of the Codex who were kind of waiting to see how this is going to fall out, and if this inevitable bonding didn't occur, they were going to ask. Also-
poor Renomi.
We're probably open to. I mean, at least I'm open to other
Roommate
roommates too. but-
suitors.
Doing the bachorette, but for roommates.
swipe right on this roommate.
If you want to do that in the Discord, I leave that up to your own discretion.
Okay, so we don't have to figure it out today.
Not
Mhm.
finalized. But,
This is just a conversation happening during the 4th year, right? Yeah. Also, if this goes through with Garnet and Arianna, it's going to wreak havoc on the rumor mill. Nobody's going to know what
Yeah,
the heck to
That's gonna
think.
be
She's
so
staying with the
funny.
mistress. Athalor's gonna come over like, here for my date. Wait.
Hey.
Hey, ex-buddy.
Finger guns at the door.
Go to your room.
That is so funny.
Don't do this here. Please.
Moving on. All right.
Oh.
Does Garnet have anything that since this conversation has taken place, does Garnet have anything else that she has in consideration with the ring next year before we get right back to end of year projects, grades, best of the best, and all that jazz?
Nope.
All right. And Arianna, we good?
We're good.
All right. Excellent. Let's just go ahead and get right to it. Now, Alexander, let's talk briefly about your project.
What?
Oh, no.
Already?
Oh boy.
Gathering storm, the skies darken, rain begins to fall.
This is going to be shit for your fire dancing, mate, Soz.
Oh no.
The last time that this happened, there was a huge battle outside, and lightning scarred the battlefield.
But what about this time?
We ain't going to year 5.
Storm clouds, as you're continuing your project, while the sphere has control over its internal weather, it doesn't have control over what goes on outside. And over the mountains to the north, well, no, it'd be actually across the open deserts to the south, torrential storm clouds darken the horizon, raining down in just absolute buckets on the refugee settlement that's built up around IOTH Academy for the last century or so. So you're going to be doing this, for starters, under the backdrop of an ominous storm, which may or may not have consequences as we continue to go along. So, while you're working on your project, you had asked Ned for assistance. Ned is one of the members of the Codex. He's an artificer who really, really badly wants to be a wizard. And
Yes.
he is from a very wealthy family in the Guluar dragon tribe. And you'd asked him for help with your project because you're doing this whole cultural thing about the Charir tribe.
Mm-hmm.
We're never getting to year 5. So he approaches you during and just, this is sort of some casual questions about what it is that you're working on. I mean, this is fairly basic stuff, Are you to be asking all these essential questions about our shared heritage? Kind of surprised.
Well, partly wanted to check to see if, I don't mean it to sound rude, but see if you're up to speed. Of course, you're very smart. I've seen your transcripts and everything, but I haven't really conversed with you much. Just opportunity to get to know one another. I'd like to get to know the people in the Codex, as well as having different perspective is, I think, useful.
Okay. Roll a deception check.
Oh yeah, it's lying on my ass. So let's go.
I was just making sure you knew everything.
I knew that.
Yeah. 24.
Okay.
That's a big lie.
All right.
Alex's specialty.
All right. Well, then, obviously that completely makes sense. The folks like us have to educate the plebs and make sure that they keep in accordance with their ancient traditions. Am I right? And he goes right back to being super helpful.
Yeah, I think Alex will say it to the end of that. Like I've heard, the whispers that you're looking to advance beyond your rank. So giving the opportunity.
Direct hit. It's super effective.
Found the crate box.
All right, take me through your project. You sent me some really cool stuff between sessions.
Yes.
First off, we did some rolls beforehand. I forget.
We did some rolls on before we did advantage roll with Ned's help for research of everything, and that went well. I don't remember what the actual roll was,
Mhm.
But then the next steps were trying to, oh god, there's a lot of steps actually. Okay, but long story short, the steps were to ask one of the artificer people who go with metal to make bolas to help with Alex's project, and
Mhm.
also to inscribe draconic runes on some clothing from Darina and on the bolas themselves.
Okay. The codex is crawling with artificers. So just go ahead
Yes.
and give me 2 d20 rolls, and we're going to take the better of the 2.
Okay.
And we'll add the modifiers afterwards. Like this is literally tailor made for these fire dancing.
Way to be shit, Ned.
Oh no.
You were the
Oh,
chosen
no.
one.
Okay, what are the modifiers? What are the modifiers?
Promotion fumbled.
Can I use
Egg
adaptive on
fumbled.
this? Is this
I'm guessing we're going to be somewhere in the 10 to 11 range right now, maybe all the way up to a 12 at the highest.
okay?
Well, you already made the check with inspiration, with advantage. Inspiration isn't going to help with that.
Yeah.
But what would help with this is your knowledge of draconic runes. Draconic runes, like this is pretty close to what you work on. So you've already used Arcana for your first roll, right?
I believe so.
Or was it history? Or was it religion?
Definitely not oh, it might have been actually religion, because religion was the lower DC.
Okay.
So
So
I did
you
use
can use an
religion, okay.
Arcana check here
Okay.
to try to inscribe the runes to try to boost that up a little bit.
Okay.
And this is a
alright.
draconic, it's about dragons and it's about runes. So apply any school benefits that you've eked out over this.
All right. Oh, 19 Arcana.
Okay, much better. Much better.
All
That's the good shit.
right. yeah. Ooh.
All right.
Oh,
So
Arcana.
give us a brief explanation of what your final project is going to be like when you actually execute on it.
Yes. So, Alex, with Darina's approval, of course, if she's down to help with this. Okay, Alex wants to have a kind of choreographed dance that Darina will play the part of, just like a representation of the Charir tribe, where Alex will create a bonfire and create illusions, and then use some magic and some control flames to make it appear like a dragon as the other, the Charir tribe kind of finding its home, its identity in the dragon that came to them. And he'll, in that process, describe like the origins of the draconic tribes and how dragons came to Anacra, and those tribes were kind of just like fending for themselves, but then the dragons came to them, and at this point, Darina will be like kind of dancing a bit like slowly, like timidly, very cautiously throughout the world, as she's like alone. And then Alex will go to describe kind of the representation of like what the dragons mean to the Triad tribe. So they kind of they brought their power and their knowledge and kind of gave them to the people, which resulted in the Triad tribe being named after Trier the dragon. And at this point, with the practice choreographing, Darina keeps dancing like a little bit scared, like away from the dragon at first, as Alex creates these illusions from the fire. And then Alex will try to, with some mixed success, maybe like join the dance for that part, as they try to like kind of stand their ground to the dragon. Alex will like control the flames to like kind of mimic like them coming out from the dragon, so like the dragon like kind of teaches them. And then this is where Alex will step out of the dance, and Darina's dance will like get faster and kind of like more in control, like her steps will be way more intentional, as then she'll be like the runes that are inscribed on her clothing, they'll like shoot out as like she's like learning the fire herself, again representing the people. Then Alex will describe like how this is important, how it's again like shaping the identity of the draconic tribes, and has given them the strength to survive, because the world's pretty messed up with all the Infernals and stuff, and they might not exist if this wasn't the case, where they got all this power. And then towards the end of it, Alex will use thaumaturgy to darken the flames, and the dragon will go away, and the flames will be like dark purple. It'll represent all the like quote unquote evil forces, like the infernal forces of the world. And then Darina will use the bolas with the runes on them, hopefully, and as like a final test of showing of the power of what the Trio Tribe has given to them, and like quote unquote defeat or beat the Infernals, and then have the dance end in like a kind of spin flourish of her swinging the bolas around, fire coming out from her, and the like purple fire representing the Infernals dissipating and going away.
This is the guy who didn't do a performance at the Green Gala, everybody.
I know.
Was saving it, dude.
All right. Is Alexander proficient in the performance skill?
Proficient? No.
Okay. You've already used Arcana, and obviously you're going to be able to use Darina's performance check for the dance. But
Yep.
what skill do you want to apply to this?
Would it have to be a proficient one?
No, it doesn't have to be.
Okay, I think Alex would still try to do performance with this.
All right.
Because I mean,
Make the roll with advantage because that was
charisma
dope.
piece. Okay, thank you. Advantage performance 21.
Let's go. Let's go.
We take those.
All right. And I'm just going to make a performance check for Darina as well, just in case it's higher than that. It is not. It is not.
Oh, no.
Okay. It averages out. She was well prepared for this. I'm not giving her advantage, but I am letting her average the rolls instead.
Oh, cool.
She does fine. She does fine. And overall, your project is a great success. You're going to get an excellent grade on this. Well done.
Let's go.
Close, pretty close to top, honestly.
Nice.
The full math will be in later. Excellent. All right.
Fuck.
Athalor, let's talk for a quick moment.
This isn't how my usual talks go.
To get dunked on.
Spontaneous combustion. Somebody is going to explode. Hope it's not you.
Excuse me?
What?
I've got
Only
a
that
really
reversed
bad
for
feeling about
Alex's
this.
project.
Yeah. Three
But
nights.
yeah, that would have helped if it happened during your project.
Oh no.
All right. Athalor, as the storm continues to rage outside, infusing the sphere of the Academy with unpredictable electrical energy, where do we currently stand on your project?
Athalor has figured out how the gyrations of the faux cosmos that is enchanted around the cape relate to the metaplanar movements of the sort of weave between the worlds where the Underwood Refuge and many other Alpha refuges sit. And with the help of Hildegard, has managed to connect the cloak to the elven woven armor piece that was part of his gala outfit and is going to just be sort of generated into a separate gauntlet with that cape on it. And now what Athalor needs to do is learn how to project that planar dissonance from the armor / cloak onto a target. So spontaneous combustion might be painful.
So, who are we testing this on?
Not it.
Not it.
Chat is about to be very, very. So I wrote a journal about this the other day, and he kind of has been working on it in like the space between the library and the dorms. So I figure that once he figures it out, the first thing he'd probably test it on would be Untermeowler.
Oh, the cat. Okay, I thought you were gonna say me for a second. I was in your journal and I just got scared. The freaking cat.
You're responsible for this, chat. And you gave me
Yikes.
disadvantage, so you've killed this cat.
No, it's just like, well, I'm getting rid of this cat anyway today. Oh
Look and know what you've done.
It's such an angry kitty.
You're gonna regret that disadvantage now, chat.
Those are the consequences of my action.
Oh no!
Oh man,
Okay.
Water so fucking sucks.
Sitting in the library, the resonance of the gyre now embodied in this fabric more present to you than ever. You've wrapped yourself in it like a security blanket. Is there a skill you haven't already used? Have you already used Arcana during this process?
Yes, I've used Arcana and Persuasion, so I figure the one left that would be worthwhile for this is probably Performance, which is Athalor finding a way to like physically manifest the projection to like cast what will be the spell it generates.
Okay, I was going to
succeed.
do Charisma here because your spellcasting is based on Charisma. So go ahead and roll a performance check with disadvantage.
I have some banked inspiration.
Yes, you do. Would you like to use it?
You know what? I think I should. I don't want to kill this cat. We'll just carry on the act of God over to the fire demons one, you know?
Just pass it over. Pass it over. Wait till we get to Arianna, please.
Act of God on
Hello,
a
is this
potato.
going to need to be a lucky dice? It may well be.
A 16. Do you want to spend a lucky dice on this?
You know what? I think I will. I will use a lucky dice.
Okay.
That's a pretty good roll.
You got the exact same thing.
The fates have decided.
Okay. As you project this energy field of the gyre to... what is the intended effect? I know that it relies on the same resonance as sort of holds your home refuge, the Althar refuge of Onderud, suspends it between worlds. That's what the gyre does. It manages the relationship of these overlapping universes and suspends this small city inside this in-between space between the harmonic waves. What is it that your cloak is intended to do?
So this is partially motivated by the in-character events and partially by the feat that you get when you build the artifice. So Athalor at the end of a class, having passed it maybe, is going to have access to a sanctuary spell. And I figured that the best way to bring that in character for Athalor is that after watching Arianna and Cryus get the living Jesus shit kicked out of them, would be to try and have some manner of defensive methodology for his friends. And so Athalor, what he's trying to do here through the gauntlet is to try and find a way to like vaguely dissipate someone from the current mortal plane of existence to go between the weaves of worlds to give them a little bit more potential to potentially avoid some life-threatening situations. So the overall gist of this is Gauntlet and Cloak extends towards a person, swipe them out of existence vaguely, but like it would kind of cause like maybe a bit of vibrational dissonance where there's like two people there as they kind of like flutter in between the worlds, and as an enemy creature would need to take a wisdom saving throw, they kind of try and decipher which one actually exists in the mortal plane and which is like the projection from a dissonance.
That is awesome. So here's what happens. You swipe left on Untermjauler, and the cat looks at you, and it starts like buzzing all over the place.
It's working!
It's dead.
And friction builds up between the overlapping fields of reality. The air glows and bursts into plasma, white hot fire. The cat is unharmed. But it is now fleeing, scampering through the school, surrounded by fire that cannot harm it.
It's like, help me.
In the library.
It's working.
Oh.
Athalor, what a
Oh.
great time to be amazingly twirling his water. Thank you, callbacks.
Yep. All right. Give me a moment here.
Roll charisma for putting out fire.
You can roll animal handling if you want to try to persuade the cat to slow down. Though having many cats, I can tell you that if a cat was surrounded by harmless fire, good flipping luck. But at least animal handling would tell you like where the cat is likely to go, so you could try to corral the cat. So I would let you roll animal handling. I would let you roll acrobatics to try to catch the cat before it lights the library on fire.
I'm gonna go for acrobatics.
Okay.
I have inspirational cat-related rolls and disadvantage on non-cat-related rolls.
This is a cat-related roll.
This is a cat-related roll. Come forth, buff Athalor. Oh, look at that. A 1 and a 20.
The legendary roll.
That man's got a fucking gauntlet snatch, bitch. I told you I'm experimenting.
You're wow. God, man, there are so many different directions I could have taken this, but you got the 1 and the 20 on advantage. That's incredible.
Holy cow.
Once again, Mr. No Consequences reaches between dimensions with his multi-phased gauntlet, scruffs the cat by the neck. Congratulations, you now have a cat that is on fire.
It's like extra plate of fire. It's just like cool.
Cool.
All right, roll an Arcana check to extinguish the cat.
If this isn't okay, does this have a disadvantage? Are we giving this one a disadvantage?
No, this is a cat-related roll.
Okay.
You no longer have advantage, but you don't have disadvantage because this is cat-related.
All right. I have to see if we have to burn one of these other inspirations that we banked. You know what? That'll do for the cat. That'll do.
Okay. All right, you are slightly singed. You take
Points of fire damage.
2 points of fire damage. And the cat is now soaked and extremely unhappy. Roll a handle animals check,
Initiative.
please. Not with disadvantage. Roll initiative. Why do I hear boss music?
Oh no, Ravis is a flat 0-5. Slashing damage incoming.
Oh no.
Ineffectually swipes at you.
Oh,
Listen,
I thought that
you're
was
fine.
damage.
You're fine. You're fine. We're all fine. Truce. 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 I'm not going to put you down until you give me a truce. Just puts it down on one of the tables and then.
And Utramala
Dog-
dashes away. And is not seen for several days.
All in all, not too bad. It vaguely works.
Back, maybe you need to make a couple of adjustments as you...
Yeah, there's just a few. Just a few.
All right. Garnet, you had a conversation with your teacher. Trying to make heads or tails of this dawn magic stuff. You've come up with a plan. Or at least a vague idea. Where do you want to start your research?
Probably she's trying to figure out. She probably has like a bigger, appetite, or was it bigger mouth than appetite?
Her
whatever
eyes are
that
bigger than
saying
her
is.
stomach.
That one, yeah. So she's like, I'm gonna use dawn magic, and she's reading up on how to use it, but probably is gonna realize it's too complicated for this amount of time.
Okay, roll either investigation or arcana. Remember, once you've used a skill once, you can't use it again in the same project.
Okay. Arcana or which one?
Investigation.
Let's go to Arcana.
You can't keep getting away with this!
I know dawn magic.
A natural 20. Holy crap. Okay. We're going to do two things. First off, because you're studying etiology, so is Cryus. He's been helping you. He's been bringing you papers and stuff. He's been carrying your books for you. You've been cribbing off of his notes. But he's also been working with the Codex on his own project. He got this great idea. After all, if these Fae are getting into the Golden Sphere, that's not supposed to happen. How is that supposed to be possible? So he worked with the Codex to create a little device. He did all sorts of paperwork, and then Athalor ran around in the Undercroft for him, taking readings with this device. He's been collecting information about the flow of dawn magic through the sphere from all sorts of different points. So you're doing your homework, like in the library, reading through all these books. He's recommending titles and stuff while he's frowning and looking at all the paperwork. And he's drawing a diagram. He's got, okay, Fae appeared here during this year, and they appeared here during this year, and at the Green Gala, And in the Undercroft under the Green Gala, and he's got like a chart next to it of all the different measurements that he's taken. And you notice as you look over, he's got lines drawn from all the points he's marked where the Fae have appeared. Right up to the spire.
Any acts of God.
Gods are on one today.
The gods are having a piss up.
Mantle of Fire, a boon bestowed on those who uphold civilization. Sin, the sovereign of flame, smiles upon you.
What's that mean?
I don't
All
think
right.
you're going to set a cat on fire
Is
as
that
well.
So you got a natural 20. What? I'll drop what Christ is figuring out on you in a moment. What are you trying to research aside from just I'm going to use dawn magic?
She's trying to see if she can connect souls back to their bodies, like in a type of resurrection, but more helping souls find peace, or I guess more of a resurrection type of goal.
Okay, so the most well-known and the most powerful dawn magic spell is called Wish. It is the most powerful spell in all of wizardry. It grants your wish. It's not unlimited because it has unlimited flexibility, but there's only so much power. When you cast a wish, in most cases, you are draining some of the remaining dawn magic in the world and using it to change reality, because that's how dawn magic used to work. There's no secret to using it. It's not that complicated. The way it used to work is, you know how in Dream you can kind of change things around you with your mind?
Yeah.
During the dawn, the dream world and the physical world were the same world. So when you imagined things or wanted to change things, that's what happened, because matter and energy were all bound up in the same thing. So there was no such thing as spending time learning magic, because you could just think about stuff, and if your will was strong enough and your imagination was bright enough, you could shape the world around you. That is dawn magic. And the reason dawn magic isn't a thing anymore is because all of that proto-matter, proto-energy was divided up and turned into the elements and turned into the four kingdoms. And once you take that sort of magical, I think we compared them to stem cells before, once you take them from that undefined form and you use it to lock it down into something tangible and real and specified, that's it. There's no going back. It is now that matter, that energy. IOTH Academy was built on one of the biggest remaining pockets of dawn energy. It's suffused with this stuff. That power is everywhere. And the reason why it's difficult to learn dawn magic now is, again, not because dawn magic is complicated, but because it's incredibly rare. You can cast Wish from anywhere in the world because the Wish spell is so complicated that it has built-in things that will draw dawn energy from across the world into the spell matrix. So dawn magic can do anything, but the bigger the effect you're trying to do, the more dawn magic you need to do that effect. So it's not unlimited power. You can't wish for the world to explode. You would need an absolutely ridiculous amount of energy to do that. You know what I mean? It's not because that's not allowed. It's just because you need to consume so much dawn energy. There's not much that much dawn energy left. You now understand all of this perfectly because you got a natural 20 on your roll.
So basically, she's like, "Oh, I've been trying to I can only do that using Wish."
Wish would be the most powerful form of it. There may be other possibilities, but it is the sort of thing you could, with a wish, reconstitute somebody's soul. Because when people die, assuming that they don't linger and haunt the place, their souls go down into the underworld, back to the font of all life, and they sort of become one with the universe. They're disassembled, they're unraveled, and what they used to be flows back into the world. Maybe some of their memories, maybe some of their actions, their powerful emotions linger. They might leave some sort of a spiritual residue with the people who they loved, who they left an impact on the world, or if they left stories behind. But for the most part, that soul is reincarnated, and it's not like you get directly reincarnated into another person. You get recycled and could become a little piece of multiple people in the world. A wish spell is powerful enough to reconstitute a soul and recreate their body. So yes, dawn magic can do exactly what you're describing.
Okay. That'd probably be very mind blown and probably tell Cryas all about it and write a report on it.
Mhm.
Probably because there's not any physical experiments that she'd be able to do. She's not very
Mhm.
keen
How many
with
level 9 spell slots do you have?
and like she can't even sense souls, you know, so she wouldn't even
Mhm.
know how to even start. So it'd probably be a lot of research and literature review and writing a report.
So here's the other thing. You're telling Cryas about this, and normally he hangs off your every word, but right now he's puzzled. He's frustrated. As you're explaining things to him, he kind of looks up, he's listening to you, he's going back to his notes, and at the end of it, this can't be right.
Why not?
No, not what you're saying. Everything you're saying is, yeah, but look at this. And he passes across his homework. I've taken readings with help from different lodges at different points in the rotation and from the Undercroft. And the flow of dawn energy is decreasing. It's reversing itself. It's supposed to emanate out from the spire to generate this sphere around us, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually contracting back along these streams, back into the spire. And it probably has been for years. And that's why the Fae have been popping in. Because the sphere pushes out the borders of the other world so that only energy can pass through but not creatures. But it's been deteriorating. And the center of the deterioration is in the spire.
Oh, so the sphere is getting weaker, and
Yeah.
that's how these things are getting in?
Yeah. I don't know if they're deliberately trying to push through or if the gaps are just weaker and they're wandering through, but something is going on that is directly deteriorating the sphere.
Question, do we know if dawn magic is like a renewable source of energy? Or
It is
it
very
something
much
that-
not a renewable. You rolled the natural 20, it is
Oh.
not a renewable resource. Every time it's used, like if you use it to cast a fireball or to create something, it is now no longer formless with infinite possibility. Its possibilities are now locked.
Man, so IOTH Academy must be running out of dawn magic.
This isn't just a natural decay. There's a deliberate flow along these lines.
Who do we know that could cause that? Who would want to cause that?
Roll an insight check, please.
Could be IOTH. He's not real.
A natural
Oh, she
20.
can't keep getting
Oh my
away with
god.
it.
Tell me the
Stop
truth.
waiting, guys. So
Oh
roll a
my
20.
god.
You can read Cryas like a book. He immediately had an answer pop into his head, decided he didn't like that answer, and rejected it.
Mhm.
Because
What are you
it's
not
somebody
telling
he
me?
admires more than anybody else in the world, more even than you.
What are you not telling me?
Oh, I mean, you got to figure IOTH knows about this, right? It's his creation. It's his responsibility.
Wasn't he the last, what was it, the last dawn magic user?
Yeah, he's the inventor of wizardry. He's the wizard. He's the one who, half the things that we're reading right now are from him or direct translations from his students.
Well, who else could it be but him then?
He
Why would he jeopardize us?
obviously he wouldn't.
Well,
I just don't know
feel
who
like-
else would be this competent.
I'm not sure. Maybe should we not share? I don't know if we should share this with anyone. We shouldn't freak out the students. You know, the sphere getting weaker.
But my grades. I spent all this time working on this paper.
Oh, well, just don't say it's IOTH's fault. Just, some fancy math covering up the fact that the sphere is getting weaker is good enough project, right?
A little bit of old magic accounting.
Yeah, I think if I make this complicated enough, nobody should. Yeah, okay, all right. And he starts going back and he redoes his calculations and he starts doing that English major thing where you really need to hit your word count and you just start talking about absolutely nothing, except he's doing the arcane formula version where he's doing like the proof that 2 + 2 is 2 and just padding and just scribbling wildly on everything in order to flesh out his report. Now,
Good luck with that.
Absolutely impenetrable.
all right, so you absolutely nailed your last several rolls. You absolutely nailed your research check, your first check on this. So this was you in the library just doing reading on Dawn Magic. Now you need to write a report of some kind. That's going to take 2 other skill checks of some variety. And I'm going to do some math with all of your results, but I need you to figure out what else you're going to do here for this report, how you're going to explain it. Like you saw that Athalor used performance to perform the final swish. Alyxander used performance and Arcana, but you've already used Arcana. So what other skills are you going to apply to writing this report?
What is an entity? So I took spiritualism and it says I get advantage on religion checks to identify entities, and I don't know what that is.
So an entity would be like that's a fiend, that's an elemental, magical creatures, essentially.
Okay, because that's different than supernatural philosophy where I get magical creature. Okay, anyway.
Oh, well, spiritualism, you can identify different like deities, different. Yeah, so supernatural creatures is you've got dragons and stuff like that, but with spiritualism, elementals, celestials, fiends, differentiating one god from another, that sort of stuff.
And you said you want another check for the writing portion?
You need 2 more checks as part of your project, however you want to justify those.
Could probably do like a investigation?
Mm-hmm. No, that would make sense. That's, citing sources and that sort of work.
The research part of everything. Okay, so that one. And then what I do...
You got a 14. Do you want to spend one of your points of inspiration chat has given you on that? Remember, your grades are on the line.
Sure.
21. Okay.
I like them apples.
All right, so you've got a really well-researched paper. You have an absolutely cosmic understanding of Dawn Magic. What's the finishing touch? What else would you do to write this thing, to get this thing done?
History, using historical knowledge of the Dawn world to...
Yeah, that would apply. This is a very, intellectual, heady sort of paper. There's not a lot of...
okay, little luck. Little just, slept, didn't sleep too well last night. Do a little lucky dice.
Yep, we are on it.
And, we had this thing, remember that D8 inspiration? That
Yes, from the Act of God last time. Absolutely.
Could I just, that...
Forgot about the D8.
A 16.
A 16.
Okay, that's much, much better. It's still lower than your other 2 results, but it's much more in the line of the codex. All right, so you just present this really, really well-researched, well-cited paper that you kind of have to rush at the very end a little bit. But, all right, that's going to work. That's going to work just fine. All right. Last but certainly not least, Arianna. We haven't even begun to discuss what you're going to do for your final. What do you got in mind?
I literally have had this entire time to think about it, and I'm still stuck with nothing.
All right, let's see if we can jog your brain at all.
Everyone's getting dunked for the god today.
Soothing wind, peace and solace surround you, removing all ailment and injury.
Could have used that 2 episodes ago.
All right.
That's great.
So what were you about to say before we dropped that in there?
She's been very focused on just kind of anything to do with like alchemy, plants, like kind of stuff like that. Like I know her project last year was to deal with creating different colors of fire. And then the year before that was also when she tried to just like transplant different plants from the grove to
Hmm.
grow them in the Great Hall. So you know she can't bring up the Mordain yet. That's not something she really wants to throw at the teachers.
Which elective is she taking again?
Oh, that's a great
Because it does have to be
question.
relevant to that. There was etiology, which is
Yes.
dawn magic, draconic studies, advanced elemental studies, and artifice.
She's doing advanced elemental studies. That's right.
Great. All right, so start there.
Yeah, so I guess like an idea that I had was potentially doing something with the elemental spring water.
Okay.
Is like that kind of does that make sense?
I think so. That's the start of an idea. What do you want to do with it?
I guess maybe like test its properties on different alchemical potion things.
Okay, so taking potions using a control source of water and then using that water and measuring the differences between them.
Basically, yes.
Okay, I like that. Go ahead and is there a skill you want to use to start off, by the way? Because all these projects have 3 parts, and you basically just describe how you're working on it and how one of your skills applies to it, and we make a check, and that's going to determine your grade.
Yeah, so I definitely think that she would first do like some investigation, right? Like she would want to kind of like test the water out, see what kind of specific like maybe arcane properties it might have, um, and just get a general sense of what this water could be good for. Because not only does she want to kind of compare whether or not there is some sort of difference, she wants to see if it can enhance something that maybe doesn't necessarily utilize the elemental spring water naturally in its alchemical recipe.
Okay.
So it's like a
That-
two-parter.
Yeah, that makes sense. Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Okie dokie. Let's not whiff my rolls and not be able to go up to the ring.
That's fine.
All right. You got a 13.
Do you
Now-
also have a +8 inspiration?
You have, from the last adventure, the laughing god smiled upon you. So you have a d8 you can add to any one d20 roll of your choice. The other thing that you can do, because you're a member of the Codex and you have friends, is whenever you don't like the result of a roll, you can try again by changing the conditions of the test. That roll represents your best shot at doing this by yourself, but you could ask a classmate in the Codex for help, or you could try like bring in some other element, do something else, take an all-nighter. You can always try again once, as long as you can justify why you're able to try again.
Got it. Well, I'm going to stick with this roll for now because it is just an investigation, like the preliminary.
I'm going to take the
start.
average of your 3 rolls, and that's going to determine your grade.
Okay. I'm still going to keep it.
All right, classic
You can't
Arianna.
intimidate me, DM. I've
All
got
right.
academic balls of steel.
We're doing it live. So after
Barely
doing
squeaks by, okay?
some investigation, doing some research, planning your procedures and stuff, what's the next stage of the experiment?
Well, the next step is to basically do I still don't have the alchemical kit.
I said I would do that, and I didn't.
Lies.
That's
118.
More of Gnome's classic lies.
Yep.
just bump up my grade.
Just, we can let this slide if you'll.
No.
we could all forget about this if you can simply do something for me.
Okay, it's there now. I fixed it.
Yay, thank you.
And this would be an intelligence-based alchemical check.
Yes, that makes sense. I think that at this point she would actually start doing the tests,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just kind of making the potions, seeing if there's a difference. So I am going to roll the alchemical tools.
All right, go for it.
Not bad.
17. Okay.
Where's
Okay.
with it?
All right, so things are going pretty well. You did some research, you did some tests, you found that the elemental spring water has a benefit in some potions more than others. Like, it doesn't really help a potion of climbing, for example, but it does help a potion of healing. It makes those slightly more efficacious. Different elements have different qualities associated with them. Water can be freedom, it can be storms, it can be a variety of different things. Speaking of storms, roll a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Like, by the way,
Uh-oh.
Do I have to?
You kind of do.
Oh,
Into negotiations.
no.
2.
Oh,
Okay,
my
so you're in the
God.
middle of your experiment, and there's a really loud clap of thunder from that storm from our 10 sub-act of God that happened a while ago, and you jump and you spill some of your supplies. It's not a major setback. You didn't poison yourself again, but it does mess things up a little bit for you. It's a setback.
All right. I understand. I'll take it.
All right, one more thing to round off the project. What's it going to be?
I think the last thing that she would do is I think she would realize that some of I would assume that in this world that some of these alchemical potions would also be very, very good for actually like growing things.
Mhm.
Like kind of like like a liquid fertilizer, not
Yeah.
really. But because she learned that there are healing properties, especially for those things, I think she would try out a nature check to see
Mhm.
how things would go if she were to use it on plants to kind of restore them and like make them healthy.
I like how she started out just testing them to see their different properties, and now she's going this completely different direction. All right,
There's also a slightly singed cat that might need one.
go ahead and roll,
I got a boo boo.
roll a nature check. And if you want, you may take advantage on this roll. Chat has given you inspiration, and you still have your D8 floating around.
I think a 15 is a passing grade. I take it.
Okay. All right.
C's
All
getting
right.
degrees, baby.
Let's go averages.
A 13, a
scholarships at,
17,
huh?
and a 15. Okay.
It's easy averaging at least.
Yeah, exactly.
This isn't no Cryos math.
All right. So the year winds down towards its end. Everybody has exams in the other classes that you were taking this year. Traditions of magic, arcane self-defense, spell formula, and physical education, which is a lot of meditation and focus and expanding the reservoir upon which you can draw magic. So classes amp up over time. Does anybody else have anything they want to add during the school year, or do you want to go ahead and go to the end after you've turned in all of these projects?
Man, how do we delay this?
Yeah.
You
My
have any
gears are
ideas?
turning.
I have an idea.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god. Chat, y'all are nuts in the best way.
Yo.
Thunder cannon. A scourging wind and a blast of thunder. The children of Vindur send their wrath.
Are we the children of Vinda?
You are not
Children.
the children of
Oh
Vindur,
my god.
Ah,
unfortunately.
We could be.
I already spilled all my supplies. What is this gonna do?
Okay, so the civilization thing hasn't really kicked in yet. The spontaneous combustion we've exhausted. The soothing wind, we haven't really given the benefits of that yet. And now, like a freaking air cannon just blasts things. How the heck do I sell this?
Would you like a scene upon which to try and set it? Because while we aren't too worried about spell slots over the course of a couple of weeks,
Mhm.
Athalor would like to approach Garnet and say, hey,
What?
do you want to try and identify these potions that I found down in the Undercroft?
Sure.
If gnomes can remember what he gave me, because I can't.
I gave you a physical description of those, right?
Yes, you did, and there wasn't room in the text box.
I was counting on that description to help me remember what the potion was.
I think
like
one
that.
was purple and one was orange.
One was purple. I do remember that.
I thought it was
Okay.
a gray one. What happened?
Yeah, the purple one. If you are down to cast the identify spell, Garnet.
Yes.
The purple one is a potion of psychic resistance. It lasts for, I believe, an hour, maybe 10 minutes. And it protects you. You take half damage from psychic attacks during that time.
Kind of chill, kind of cool.
Cool.
We like that. We take those.
The other one is a potion of fire breath.
Arianna.
Sorry, I didn't identify this sooner, Alex. This would have probably been quite useful.
You drink it, and then either after an hour or after you've used it 3 times, its effect ends, but it's exactly what it sounds like. You can breathe fire 3 times.
That's crazy.
That's cool.
Ah.
Well, there you go.
And maybe if you breathe fire, you'll end up with a mantle flame. Who knows? Who cares? Just
Mhm.
Where'd you get these
things
from
that can
again?
happen. Corpses.
Oh. Okay. Well, they're not gonna miss them, I guess.
No, I don't think dead red caps. I don't think they even knew what they were for.
Okay, now I'm
Cool.
going to take chat up on this. As you're having this discussion, the Great Hall explodes.
Excuse me, what?
It explodes. I need the 4 of you to roll Constitution saving throws, please.
Oh, this
kind
is
of
what
a
I
thing you're
saved
being-
my inspiration for. I just
You're being
want you
quite
to know
laissez-faire about this explosion.
Just getting
Oh,
nuked.
do I get one of those inspos?
Hey, what a time to be able to roll a 1d8.
Dodging nukes.
Hey, real quick question, Athalor, is this roll in at all related to a cat?
I don't know. Did the cat explode?
No, the
Did you
cat
just-
did not explode. I'm going to need you to roll again and take the worst of the 2.
I still have banked inspirations. Can I mollify?
Yeah, you can. Yep, you can burn an inspiration to just take the 13 instead.
You know what? I'll take the 13.
Okay.
Alex will use inspiration. I think there's one.
Let's see.
right.
Yeah, we got one in there.
nice.
We got one in there. All right. You're good. You're fine. Garnet is also fine. Garnet and Alexander are all right. Arianna, you've got an inspiration waiting in the wings. Do you want to spend that?
This is what I was saving it for, because something was just gonna go wrong. I had a feeling
You can be healed
something
from the
still
nuke.
might go wrong.
It's okay.
I'm gonna
Well,
keep
gotta
it
keep
anyway.
on God
Welcome
thing.
to Equally Fucked.
You have that. D8 from the Laughing God still. Do you want to spend it?
Do lucky dice work on saving throw?
Lucky dice do work on saving throws.
You know
What a good time.
I'm gonna chance my fate right now.
Okay,
I feel like
all
I'm
right.
gonna need the dice later, so I'm gonna
Okay.
save
You know, I'll,
it.
Just got
I'll also take the
RKO'd.
13.
Yeah, so the Great Hall explodes because Hildegard was doing an experiment on her thunder cannon and blew a hole from the floor below in the workshops and just erupted through the area, burying both Athalor and Arianna in the rubble.
Oh my.
Panic is instantaneous.
Cool.
Immediately start using my little arm cantrip, my Twilight Tendril to start, taking some rubble off.
Okay.
And finding them.
All right.
Wait, am I conscious at this point?
Yeah, how
buried are
KO'd
we?
have we been?
The 2 of you are stunned for the time being.
I don't know what
Never
that
mind.
means, but okay.
The 2 of you
not
are stunned for
doing
the time
anything.
being. Alexander, you dodged all of this. What do you do?
Oh man, there's not much in terms of magic you could do. I actually could thaumaturgy, make his voice louder, and call for help.
Absolutely.
The boom might have already done that, but you know, that's
All right.
all
In case anyone didn't know, shit's getting fucked up in here.
Your attention, please. We
students
have
trapped.
just exploded. Thank you.
Alex, I need your
Explosion
help.
bad.
All right.
Guns ain't gonna do all the work.
I mean, I guess after calling out Alex to try to manual labor take some of the rubble off. I mean, there's not much else.
All right, roll a strength check, please, Alexander.
Okay.
How on a
this is
scale of noodle to noodle? How noodle are you?
strength.
Oh.
Very noodle. It's not.
He's trying to pick up like a small pebble.
It's too much, Garnet. It's too much. You need to take over.
It's okay. I can keep doing this
my
all day.
The caretakers arrive on the scene almost instantaneously. Other people in the Great Hall are screaming, scattering. Some of them are trying to help, but the brown-robed caretakers immediately arrive. Athalor and Arianna, go ahead and roll another set of Constitution saving throws for me.
Is that your dead face? Like they just
Very dead.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
oh wow.
Oh.
Arianna, as the rocks fall and crumble upon you, both you and Athalor are going to take 11 points of damage each. But
Ah.
a soothing wind arrives at that exact time, one that you felt all those years ago back in your home
This
refuge.
exploded hole in the wall.
That power of life that coursed through you and brought the plants to blossom back when you were in the refuge, that power is still with you. You immediately recover all of those hit points. Athalor, however, can just get wrecked.
No.
I had the better saving throw.
Oh no.
The caretakers begin to extract him. Athalor, roll a strength saving throw with advantage, please, to try to pry yourself out.
Bam.
Noodle
Nice.
arms.
But no.
69.
Nice.
Is there anything for nice, DM?
Not nice.
There's at least one game I've played in where if you get a 69 on a 1d100, something happens. I think that was Matt's game. You'll have to ask him. All right. As they start to clear the rubble off of you, Athalor, you're seeing just, you've clearly got a concussion. You're going to need to go to the apothecary. And at that moment, in a blink, Inril Untermaler and a pair of the school's wardens teleport directly to the scene.
What the
I'm leaving.
master?
I leave on sight.
Oh.
I'm like mid-rock.
Did this like happen in our dorm, or did it just like blast a hole through?
No,
the
your
fucking
dorm
Great Hall?
exploded. Your dorm exploded.
Wasn't us.
Okay, let's go one by one. I already know Garnet's leaving. We'll talk about that in a moment. Alexander, Athalor is being extracted from the rubble by the caretakers. Inril and two wardens, just showed up. How do you respond?
Yeah, I think Alex already be by the rubble. I mean, he was obviously failing to extract any of the rubble because of his noodle arms, but he'll stick around and see how this unfolds. I mean, they're not at fault here, so Alex is like, you know what, nothing to really hide about this, but we can try to defuse the situation. So,
all right, Athalor, you're busy getting wrecked. Give me a moment. Unless there's something you want to say in your seeing stars state.
Does Athalor have the ability to do a telepathic bond while being stunned?
No. But Uncle does.
In which case,
do you want to send a message?
Yeah. Tell Christ. Not Christ. Alex. I was mixing up my codexes. Yeah. Remember to make sure they don't see that knife.
Where is the knife?
It's supposed to be under Athalor's bed, but right now I don't know how corporeal that particular plane is.
The bed exploded. The bed exploded and flipped over, and the knife may now be somewhere in the rubble.
Yeah, can Alex like just scan for it right now, see if it's like out in the open, just
Yeah, anything
perception.
conspicuous.
Roll
Yeah.
a perception check.
Okay. A
3. You do not see the knife.
Sure, he didn't get hit by this blast.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay.
All right. Garnet, what are you doing? You were not privy to this telepathic bond, and Inril Untermaler just showed up.
Yeah, I'm just trying to scream. As soon as I see him, I'm like, oh,
Skirt.
screw this. I'm out. I ain't trying to get in trouble for no reason. Out. And I'm just booking it.
Okay, you're just hauling ass? Or are you like trying to be...
Ass,
You're not
though.
trying to be stealthy about it? You're just
Jogging.
dipping?
Just a little happy jog out.
Sorry, guys, it's time for
You
my
look-
run. Can't stay.
I saw a little bit of his
No.
Athalor's hair. Arianna sounds like she's fine. I will be back with help. I'm getting help. I'm gonna go get more caretakers and stronger people.
Okay, roll a deception check, please.
Oh shit. Oh god.
It's all or nothing.
For those of you listening at home, that was a natural 1.
Oh no.
And Untermaler got a 21.
Bro.
Stop.
Yikes.
Just like holds her up by the head as the rest of her body keeps running.
Shit, I'm out.
Yeah,
Young
we're not.
lady.
I'm out.
Come back here, please.
Yes, sir. Walk back. to-
Minotaur, sorry.
All
I
right.
was just getting a strong person here. Of course, you're very strong.
Yeah, the
sir.
Minotaur stares down at you from his 8 feet of height.
I didn't think your hooves would be. I'll shut up now.
That would be wise.
Arianna, what are you doing?
Am I unrubbled at this point? Or
Yes,
like,
you are
I'm
unrubbled.
Rebel status.
Like, brushing it all off, I guess. I guess I'd be trying. Can I help, or is it like distasteful to try to like use magic in front of Untermaler?
It's fine to use magic as long as you're not like, fragging people or mind controlling people or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. So I could, because like Athalor is not out yet, is he?
He is in the process of being extracted. He is about to be extracted from the debris.
Okay. I still think at this point, I would still use the mold earth cantrip
Mm-hmm.
to help just kind of like move things very like
That would
Daintily out of
definitely
the
apply
way.
here.
yeah. I would not throw them willy nilly, but
Fuck this. Fuck this. Fuck this.
Yeet!
very 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 dainty.
All right. Untermaler inspects the room and looks over at one of the caretakers.
Injury report.
I want to see those two in my office right away. Points at Arianna and at Athalor to make sure that they're all right. These two seem to be fine.
Yeah, injury report. My head hurts.
He looks to the two wardens.
Secure the area and find the source.
And then he looks down at Garnet and Alyxander.
Good question. Would we, being from part of the codex, would like know potentially what the source of that blast was? Or
You've
is it just,
heard the
like, a
random
random-
cannon before. You've just
Okay.
never heard it go on that scale.
All right, so we have a bit of a okay, got you. Bit of an inkling about what happened.
Was that
Yes.
one of our weapons of mass destruction?
Yeah.
Or one of theirs.
Okay.
Roll for WMD inspection.
Are you two all right?
Mm-hmm. I feel fine. I don't know what
I-
happened, but I feel fine.
Everything's spinning.
Shut up, Athalor. You're fine. Just get out.
Just walk off like a
You're
concussion.
fine. Walk it off.
he turns now to Alexander and Garnet. Do you two know what happened?
Oh, actually, I don't think Garnet would know. I don't know. No.
No, I don't. We're sitting here, and explosion of some sort happened, and
Mm-hmm.
this was the result.
All right, it's going to take Hildegard a moment to fly up because the backblast from that launched her through several rooms in the other direction. But she's on her way to explain everything.
All right.
All right, now Alexander, you have an inkling. You've heard that weapon before. You're not sharing that information with the class at the moment, right?
No.
That's going to call for a deception check.
Okay.
Good luck, buddy. Good luck, buddy.
Okay, that is
Any big
9.
liars?
Oh my god.
Untermaler got a dirty 20. You got a 9.
Oh boy.
He's gonna hate us even more now.
He eyes Garnet, silently waiting to see if she responds to his question.
Oh, no, I don't know. Alex would definitely know. And he doesn't, so he's telling the truth.
Is that a lie, Garnet? Garnet isn't as involved with Codex business. There's a possibility she wouldn't immediately recognize that. But there's also a possibility that she would know that Alex is lying, even if she doesn't know the truth. Is Garnet lying
Wrote insight. Oh, no.
on yourself?
I don't know if Garnet would know about the cannons.
Okay, roll a flat intelligence check. Just an intelligence check.
Let's see. Am I smart?
You know about the cannon.
Oh shit! All right.
You are
deception
very
time.
20 int, by the way.
20 in, by the way.
So you are, in fact, lying. You can change your answer if you want, because you have a little more information as a player now, but I need to know if you're going to
Oh.
continue with the lie.
Well,
Maintain the line.
Undmaler, I mean, everyone's working on projects. It's probably just a project gone wrong. I don't know where it would come from.
Yeah, that would be my guess as well. I mean, I'm not sure. Everyone's trying really hard to get their grades. I'm sure people are doing some stuff that maybe should be avoided.
Yeah.
Can you think of anyone who might be working on things that should be avoided?
I made a cape.
Maybe to be avoided wasn't the best term, but at least they could backfire. I know. Okay. I know some people who like tinkering with things, and it's by no means malicious, but
Roll to narc.
machinations can go
Narc.
wrong.
What about the storm? I
try to-
mean, the thunder could have caused some kind of bad reaction with the sphere. I insert Dawn magic
You
technicalities.
did get a very
here.
high roll on the non-magic
What
technicalities.
if the thunder hit the sphere and caused it to break through? I mean, Cryas has been researching how the sphere has gotten weaker. So what if the storm broke through there?
Roll insight and deception, please.
Oh, bloody hell.
A natural
come on.
1 on the
Can
insight.
I luck the insight? I'm really curious.
You can luck dice the insight. Dude, you're just
Awesome.
completely all over the... Okay, a
Ah,
6.
Balls. I really wanted to know.
All right.
You could tell a good lie about some absolute bullshit.
Oh?
Untermaler eyes
Oh.
you.
That should have nothing to do with this.
Why not?
This came from below. There is no source of energy that would interact with the sphere like that.
Write that down. Write that
I
down.
am curious to hear what you've learned about this security issue, Miss Garnet.
Oh, not a security issue. There was just little gaps here and there. Cryas would know much more about this. I
Perhaps I should speak with the both of you.
probably- why am why are we in trouble for something?
We never had the opportunity to discuss the urgent security matter pertinent to holes in the sphere during the gala. You followed up on this. Perhaps you have something useful. Perhaps your investigation could be of service to the Academy.
With all due respect, Untamala, is this the time for it? Our things may have been destroyed. Can we see if we can preserve them first and have your meeting later?
Roll persuasion, Alexander.
A
20.
20. And honestly, I'll use the 1d8. I'm gonna go for it.
Oh, hell yeah. Fuck this guy.
All right, pour it on, pour it on.
Okay,
One.
that's a lot.
21 total.
That could be a difference. That could be a difference.
It could
Yes. I will secure the area. You make sure that no harm comes to you or your friends. Clean your things up. We'll make sure these two get to the apothecary and that none of you are in any danger.
be. Yes, thank you very much.
At that, Arianna, the caretakers have extracted Athalor and have placed an herbal poultice on his forehead, and they are working on forcibly removing the two of you to take you to the apothecary's office. Are you objecting in any way, shape, or form, either of you two?
Athalor kind of tries to lean to like look towards the hole
Mhm.
that goes down. Is there anything down there through his fuzzy eyes?
You see a flickering light at the far end. It's Hilda on the way to make sure that nobody got hurt.
I think we should go. You shouldn't be that close to the edge. You're gonna fall. Athalor, let's go. It's gonna be
Yep.
fine.
Yep, brain hurting.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
The two of
sure.
them are extracted. Untermaler is going to have his first conversation with Hildegard. And he
Whoa.
will get on your calendar, Garnet, later.
Well,
Oh,
that's
I'm
happening.
just so busy. I have no slots. I am so sorry.
Head empty, do not regard.
All right.
Alex definitely wants to take a closer look through the rubble with the hopes of
Mm-hmm.
finding the dagger. But after being like, "Hey, could you do that later?" It's like starts going through things specifically close to Athalor's like bed, like where he knows the dagger
Okay.
was.
Roll an
first.
investigation check, please, and either a deception, sleight of hand, or stealth check.
All right, investigation first.
So wait, is
A
Athalor
10?
dug up at this point?
Yeah,
And
Athalor's been
Alex-
extracted. He's being
Okay.
bodily removed to the apothecary for a full workout. Workup. They're going to check him out.
Yeah, I'm
Make sure he's
gonna
good.
go do some squats, you know. Just like, nothing heals an
With a-
injured brain like leg day.
Exactly.
And then-
Garnet would try to want to help Alex, but probably send a message to figure out what they're doing. What are you looking for? Athalor's out.
The dagger, Athalor.
It's here.
I mean, it's under his bed, yes, and we could need to find it before Untumala catches on while he's distracted. If you could help, yeah, that would be great.
Is Intamala still like hovering?
Mm-hmm.
What a time to have your conversation.
Just whisper.
Well, it's a message.
Oh, yeah, it's
through
a
And
her
when Garnet does it,
brain.
there's literally no sign that she's casting a spell, which is the only reason she's gotten away with it in front of these freaking high-level mages this whole time.
And for the next roll, was it deception? You said?
Deception, stealth, or sleight of hand.
Okay.
One is to see if you
Deception
find it. The other is to see if he notices.
Gotcha. 13.
All right. He's distracted because Hildegard is on her way up right now. So he does not notice you rooting around in the rubble.
Okay. But that would, yeah, the message like if you, Garnet, if you could help, that would be great.
Yeah. Can I add advantage or roll myself? Or
You can do an investigation roll yourself if you're literally just digging through the debris.
Yes.
21. All right. You find
Yes.
it. It was
wanna
lying
meet-
almost out in the open. The hilt was just barely obscured by a thin layer of dust that concealed its reflective properties. It would have not been too hard to spot from 8 feet up. but you've located it. It's kind of it's going to make a little noise. It's under some debris. It's going to scrape in the dirt if you pull it out right now.
I want to immediately cast Arcanist Magic Aura on it to
Mhm.
make it so it appears non-magical, because it is
Okay.
magical, right?
Yes.
And try to probably, if I can use a minor illusion to make it look like just a regular shitty dagger,
Mm-hmm.
rusty and yucky,
Yeah, you can do that.
and just pull it out. Right?
Okay.
And send a message to Alex like, hey, I found it.
Oh. Alex will kind of perk up and look towards and see what's going on.
All right. Once you
Keep a
remove it, what
thought.
do you do with it?
Probably find a way to just kind of hide it in my
Okay.
dress, or just
Roll
just like casually just
Take
look,
this
I found my dagger.
knife. Roll stealth or sleight of hand to conceal the weapon.
Oh, if it isn't my bodice knife. Pass without trace.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it, but he's kind of right fucking there. So I think this whole
It
"You
suddenly
pass without
disappears.
trace." Yeah, I'll just so I'll do a stealth then. Let's just do.
Ooh, nice.
Dirty 20. All right. He turns around from his conversation with Hildegard, looks at the room, and goes back to discussing. He's going down into the hole to see the site of the experiment, to see if there's any further danger. The dust literally settles, and we will return to our heroes' adventures after a short break. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We will be right back.